Hello, Alicia.
Hi, Jared.
Welcome back, everyone, to Vibrations and Manifestations.
This is what, episode 35?
That's right, episode 35. And we are right in the thick of it. Part 4 of our myth-busting series.
Yeah, today we're diving into something so many people grapple with, navigating this whole world of manifestation, personal growth, all the teachers, the methods.
Well, it could be so exciting, but also, wow, incredibly confusing sometimes.
Totally. Like trying to figure out which path is right, or if you're doing it wrong, or who to even listen to.
Exactly.
We want to help you look at different ways people approach this stuff, understand what others have gone through.
And most importantly, help you find what really clicks for your unique journey, without feeling all that pressure or confusion.
Because, let's be real, have you ever felt totally lost scrolling through all the gurus online? Like one says this, another says the complete opposite?
Should I be doing affirmations? Or meditating on brain waves? Or just feeling good?
Or, okay, maybe you found a teacher, a method that felt like pure gold for a while.
Yeah, like this is it.
And then suddenly, it just fizzled.
And you panicked. Thought you broke something. Oh, that panic is real. If any of that sounds familiar, this deep dive is definitely for you.
We're going to tackle some common myths that can seriously get in the way of trusting your own gut, your own intuition on this path. If you've ever felt confused by, say, conflicting advice, or maybe pressured to stick with just one teacher, one path.
Or worried you're doing it wrong because your journey doesn't look like someone else's feed, perhaps?
Yes. Then the ideas we're unpacking today are definitely for you. Our mission is really to distill the core insights here. We're looking at common myths about finding your path.
The role different teachers play, which is huge.
Yeah, and some of the science that might explain why certain things resonate.
And ultimately, how to trust your own inner guidance.
Up.
Above everything else.
Okay, let's dive in. Let's unpack this.
It's a journey so many people recognize, isn't it? That feeling of being pulled in different directions.
Totally. Wondering, am I on the right path? Everyone else seems so sure.
Yeah, and these concepts we're exploring, they really challenge that idea that you need to pick like one definitive spiritual Hogwarts house and just stay there forever.
Oh, right.
It suggests instead you're choosing alignment.
Right.
And that alignment, well, it inherently changes as you change.
That shift in perspective is so key. The way these ideas are organized is around 5 specific myths that, often trip us up. So let's dive right into the first one. Myth number 1. If a teacher resonates once, they should always resonate.
Yes. This implies a kind of static, unchanging relationship with teachings. Like you find the one true way and you're just set for life.
Exactly. I remember the first time I really connected with Abraham Hicks. It felt revolutionary, like a spiritual defibrillator.
Wow.
I was literally sobbing in my car outside a grocery store, and Esther's voice just cut through everything, saying something like, "You are a vibrational being, you can't get it wrong." And for months, I was just completely immersed. Listening every day, scripting, appreciating strangers at red lights, even trying to talk like them, saying contrast instead of problem.
Oh, yeah. Like, this flat tire. Just some clarifying contrast.
Pretty much. My Wi-Fi's out. Just contrast, clarifying my desire for stable internet.
Yeah.
It was a powerful phase.
And that intensity is so common, isn't it? When you find something that gives you that breakthrough perspective, especially when you're searching, it hits exactly where you are at that moment.
But then, after a while, something shifted. It wasn't dramatic, just subtle. I'd play a clip and it felt, quieter. The jolt wasn't there.
Yeah.
And honestly, instead of thinking, okay, maybe I've integrated that, I panicked. Yeah, I thought I'd lost my connection, that I was somehow misaligned, fallen off the vibrational wagon. I even wondered if I was manifesting wrong because Abraham didn't spark joy anymore.
That panic is so relatable. You link the teaching with feeling good, with transformation. And when that feeling changes, it feels like the process is broken. Or worse.
That I was broken.
Right. But what if that feeling isn't failure at all? That teaching was maybe the perfect frequency then. But as you integrated it, as you grew, your needs changed.
So outgrowing a teacher isn't betrayal or failure. It's actually evidence of your progress. You're ready for the next thing. And that's the core idea here. Resonance isn't static, it's dynamic. It updates as you change, as you evolve.
Exactly. Outgrowing a teacher or a specific method, it's not failure. It's actually a sign of evolution, progress.
Abraham was perfect for that version of me, needing that specific message. But who I was becoming needed something else. It's not betrayal, it's honoring your own growth.
And the reframe is beautiful. Let your resonance update itself. It's okay. It's natural.
It's more than okay, it's how it's supposed to work.
And we can try a little visualization for this. Let's call it the emotional guidance scale flow to help visualize this. Think of yourself floating gently down a stream, like that emotional guidance scale they talk about. You're not trying to stay put, you're just allowing the current you're feeling to shift, guiding you gently to a better feeling place.
That feels incredibly liberating. That guilt, feeling wrong for moving on from a teacher or a phase, it's so common. Understanding its natural growth, that frees you up. Okay, so navigating this dynamic path, it naturally leads to the next hurdle, right? The idea that disagreeing with a teacher means something's wrong. Let's look at myth number 2. Disagreeing with a teacher means I'm wrong or they are.
Yeah, this one forces this unnecessary either conflict. It pushes you to pick sides, which really isn't helpful for your own integration.
Right. I remember getting totally stuck in the whole quantum physics versus pure imagination debate.
Oh, tell me about it.
One minute I'd be watching Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's super charismatic, right?
Yeah.
Big screen, talking quantum coherence, theta waves, heart rate charts.
Yeah, the science is fascinating.
Yeah.
It adds this whole other dimension.
Totally. But then I'd think, wait, isn't this getting a bit complicated? Abraham just says, feel good. Joe's talking about measuring brain waves.
And then on the other hand, you might read Neville Goddard. Completely different angle.
Exactly. Pure imagination. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Consciousness is the only reality. No steps, no charts. Just feel it. And I started spiraling. Like, which one's right? Do I need to measure my gamma waves or just feel like I own the house? Is it too woo-woo if I don't track my brain? Am I being lazy if I skip the 55 by 5 scripting? The confusion feels so real.
But the key insight here is that they aren't necessarily contradicting each other.
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
Think of them as, like, translators speaking different dialects of the same core language. They're all trying to describe this magic of creation, but using different human tools, different frameworks.
So some people connect with the math, some with the poetry.
Exactly. They're not negating each other, just offering different paths to a similar underlying truth, which often boils down to you have way more power than you think.
Okay, that makes sense. So you don't have to force them into opposing camps.
No. The reframe is so freeing. You can take the fruit and leave the rind. You don't need to swallow everything whole.
Take the fruit, leave the rind. I like that.
And for a visualization here, try placing one hand on your heart, one on your head. Breathe deeply. Imagine coherence, a connection between those two centers. Maybe a soft light syncing them up. Different languages, but the same essential truth. Let them harmonize within you instead of competing.
That helps. It gives you permission, right, to learn from lots of sources without needing perfect alignment or feeling like you have to pick a side or reject someone completely.
Precisely.
Okay, so moving from trusting our resonance, integrating different perspectives, we might wonder, can I actually combine all this stuff? Won't it just get messy? Which brings us right to myth number 3. Mixing methods waters them down or causes confusion.
Right. This myth says, stick to one system, one technique to be effective.
Yeah.
Combining things, that just leads to dilution or spiritual chaos. This feels super relevant today with like a million options online. Mixing methods waters them down or just causes confusion.
Yeah, the fear that if you dabble a little tapping here, some visualization there, maybe journaling affirmations, you're basically creating spiritual mud.
That it won't work because it's not pure or focused enough. Oh, I live this.
You were the spiritual mixologist.
Totally. I treated practices like a spiritual dating app, swiping right on everything. Ooh, EFT, theta waves, binaural beats, moon water from TikTok.
What did that concoction look like in practice?
A ritual cocktail that was intense. Tapping points, visualizing brain states, writing affirmations like I was yelling at the universe, headphones blasting beats. I probably tried smudging with a scented candle at some point. It was a lot.
I can imagine. And the result?
Hitting a wall, basically. Feeling scattered, overwhelmed, and, messy. I thought, okay, this isn't working. I'm doing too much. I need discipline.
The pendulum swing to rigidity.
Exactly. I decided to commit to one thing. I picked Sylvect. Mind control sounded serious, structured, like spy training for your subconscious.
And how did Agent Silva feel after the cocktail bar?
Honestly, it felt like spiritual meal prepping with absolutely no salt or spices. It was so rigid. It lacked joy, spontaneity. I missed the experimentation.
And that's the insight, right? It wasn't messiness.
It was me trying to find my own flavor. The truth here is, integration isn't dilution, it's intelligence. It's about consciously weaving together what works for you. Mixing methods isn't messy. It's how you make these universal principles uniquely your own practice. You're the one creating the blend that works for you.
Stop trying to follow someone else's exact recipe and start trusting my own inner sense of flavor, my own unique blend.
Exactly. The reframe is empowering.
Yeah.
You're not messy, you're multidimensional. You contain multitudes.
I like that. Multidimensional. Your path needs your unique blend.
Let's visualize this with a spiritual sampler tray. Picture a beautiful platter like a spiritual tapas bar laid out just for you.
All sorts of goodies. Little bowls of quiet meditation, shots of energizing mantras, grounding crystals, maybe some journaling prompts, movement practices.
Visualization techniques. Just notice, what does your body lean towards today? Take a little bite. Taste the resonance. You are the chef, crafting your perfect, unique blend for this moment. What does your body, your gut, your intuition lean towards today? Not forever, just now.
No rules. Take a bite. Taste it. Does it resonate? How does it feel in your system?
You're creating your own unique, nourishing, effective spiritual practice. Mix and match.
That feels so much more creative and empowering. Trusting yourself to build something that actually supports you, using whatever feels right, knowing it can change. Your personal practice can be this creative, evolving thing that works just for you, freeing you from feeling stuck in one system.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's keep going. This leads us to myth number 4. If I outgrow a teacher, I must have failed or been misled.
Ooh, this one runs deep. It links moving on with personal failure or thinking the teacher wasn't truthful or didn't give you the whole picture, leading to shame or that weird feeling of betrayal. Like if someone helped you so much and now you're moving on, it must mean you did it wrong or they weren't legit after all.
So many people feel this, especially with those early foundational teachers like Louise Hay or the folks from The Secret. For a while, it felt like they had the answers, right?
Totally. Louise Hay, I love and approve of myself. Sticky notes everywhere. Mirror, laptop, fridge. It was practically wallpaper. A sacred mantra.
And The Secret. Visualizing checks in the mail. I was literally standing by my mailbox, like expecting a cosmic delivery truck any minute.
Waiting for that instant manifestation.
Exactly. And look, those tools were genuinely helpful then. They shifted things, but life happens.
It gets complicated.
And affirmations and vision boards alone, they didn't feel quite enough to process deeper things like real grief or chronic burnout,
Right. The tools didn't stretch to cover everything.
Yeah. And I started questioning, maybe I did it wrong, or maybe the teachers hadn't told the whole truth. And that thought, it led to feeling kind of betrayed.
And then shame. Like, how could I outgrow something that helped me so much? Didn't I owe them something?
Yeah.
Loyalty.
That feeling of betrayal or shame often comes directly from believing a teaching has to be complete, apply forever, or that moving on means something bad about you or the teacher. But what if it's simply graduation?
Yes. One day I was looking at this faded, dog-eared sticky note on my fridge and it just clicked. This message was perfect for me then, and now I need a new one for who I am now.
That's it. The core idea, outgrowing isn't failure, it's not being misled, it's simply graduation.
Right.
The message served its purpose for a past version of you. You've evolved, you need different tools now.
The reframe is so powerful you can love a stepping stone and still keep walking.
Exactly. It shifts moving on from shame or guilt to empowerment. Recognizing growth, the natural evolution of your needs.
Yeah. Let's try a gratitude garden visualization for this.
Okay.
Picture yourself walking into a beautiful, peaceful garden.
See different plants and flowers all around you. Each one represents a teaching, a method, a teacher that helped you on your way.
Some might be in full bloom right now, still offering wisdom. Others might be fading, their main season past. But you can still see the structure, appreciate the role they played in the garden's life.
Walk through slowly. Pause at each one. Offer a quiet, heartfelt thank you for the support, the lesson, the step forward it provided. Feel that genuine appreciation.
Then, when you feel ready, walk towards the edge of the garden. See a gate there, gently opening, leading to what's next on your path. Step through with gratitude, carrying only the gratitude forward.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Holding gratitude instead of obligation. That's a huge shift. That really helps normalize it. It's not judgment, it's just the unfolding journey. Progress, not failure.
Myth 4 recap. Outgrowing means failure or betrayal.
Truth. Outgrowing is harvest. It's graduation.
Reframe. Thank the stepping stones and keep walking. Okay, last myth for today, myth 5. It's a huge one, especially now. The best teacher has the most followers, the fanciest science, or the most charisma.
Ah, the allure of the popular vote, or the super slick presentation. We assume that follower count or complex jargon or just looking incredibly polished means they must be the most effective, the most truthful guide.
This myth equates external validation, popularity, big scientific claims, a really smooth delivery with inherent truth or effectiveness for you. I fell for this hook, line, and sinker. I bought this super expensive spiritual mastery bundle online once.
Uh-oh. What drew you in?
Honestly, the aesthetic. This teacher looked flawless.
Mm-hmm.
All white clothes, perfect skin, surrounded by salt lamps. The videos were like mini movies, super high production.
Mm-hmm.
And she had this soft, whispery voice.
A whole serene guru package.
Totally. It just screamed enlightenment, So I thought, okay, clearly this is the real deal. Signed up for the payment plan.
And the actual content, the practices?
They were.
Mhm.
Okay, I guess. But they just didn't click for me. Didn't resonate. Despite the beauty, the calm voice, I felt totally disconnected. Like I was watching a commercial for inner peace. That polish, the production quality, the charisma, it can be incredibly compelling. Creates a strong perception of authority.
Totally. Why do I feel like I'm being sold a self-worth smoothie with no actual nutrients? Something felt hollow, despite the shine.
Exactly. And then, boom, instant self-criticism. What's wrong with me? Everyone else in the Facebook group is having breakthroughs.
Because everyone in the comments was raving, life-changing vibrations, consciousness breakthroughs, comparing your inner reality to their curated testimonial.
Yep. It took me a while to realize. The polish, the followers, the fancy talk, it doesn't guarantee substance for you. My biggest aha moment actually came later, watching some grainy YouTube video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, had maybe 100 views. Just this older woman, totally unpolished, sitting on her couch in a bathrobe, talking really plainly about self-trust. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. Resonated way deeper than the expensive cinematic course.
That's the perfect illustration of the truth here. Shine does not equal substance. Resonance is key, way more than charisma or crowd size.
And the refrain is so simple but powerful. Truth whispers. Flash sells.
Listen for the whisper. It just shifts the focus entirely, away from external hype back to your own internal sensing.
And for the final visualization tied to these myths, imagine holding a tuning fork of truth. You're in a very still, quiet room. Just you.
Hold a tuning fork. Maybe just imagine one gently against your heart center.
Now bring to mind a teaching, a piece of advice, maybe an online guru you've seen. Ask yourself softly, does this resonate with me right now?
Don't overthink. Just feel. Allow that tuning fork to vibrate, metaphorically. Is there a gentle hum? A feeling of yes? A sense of rightness in your chest?
That's your inner knowing. That's the signal to trust, way more than follower counts or fancy graphics.
Bypassing the noise and tuning into your internal compass. That's powerful. So those are the 5 myths. Resonance is dynamic, teachers are translators, mixing is smart, outgrowing is graduating, and truth whispers from within.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is that these ideas aren't just, abstract concepts or feel-good notions. The materials also touch on some interesting science that potentially supports why this dynamic, intuition-led approach actually makes sense. It grounds it in our biology.
Ooh, okay, now my inner nerd is getting excited. So there's science backing up why trusting your gut on this stuff is actually valid.
Absolutely. The materials bring up principles from neuroscience, psychology, like neuroplasticity.
Right, the brain changing itself.
Exactly. Your brain is literally wired to rewire. It changes its structure, its function, based on experiences, thoughts, your environment. That's why what resonated deeply 2 years ago might feel flat now. It's not you failing.
It's my brain evolving.
Yes, your brain and nervous system are actively adapting. You're not a spiritual dropout. You're neuroplastic.
Huh. A neuroplastic butterfly? Like those neural pathways or trails, the more you walk a new one based on current resonance, the clearer it gets?
Precisely. And then there's cognitive dissonance theory.
Okay.
This explains that uncomfortable feeling we get when we hold 2 conflicting beliefs. Like when you start questioning a teacher you once really trusted, or feel drawn to something that contradicts what you learned before.
You feel that inner tension, that, ugh, am I wrong?
Right,
Feeling.
that dissonance. But the discomfort isn't always a sign you're wrong. It can actually be the signal that growth and integration are happening. Your brain dislikes the conflict, so that tension, even guilt about leaving and teaching, can be your system processing a shift.
Wow, okay. So discomfort isn't brokenness, it's a change in progress. That's a huge reframe.
It really is. And then adult learning theory andragogy.
How adults learn differently.
Exactly. Unlike kids, adults learn best when info is relevant to their life, flexible, self-directed. Learning isn't linear, it's cyclical, connected to lived experience. This strongly supports why mixing methods is healthy, why graduating from a style is natural. Mixing isn't watering down, it's honoring your autonomy as a learner, as a creator.
Makes total sense why those rigid one-size-fits-all approaches often feel stifling over time. We need that flexibility.
And another key one, somatic intelligence, or interoception.
Okay, fancy term. What's that?
It's basically your body's ability to sense its own internal state. The material highlights how your body literally knows what's true for you.
Ah, like those visualizations we talked about, the tuning fork, the stream.
Yes. They help you tune in to that interoceptive awareness. Science links this internal sensing directly to emotional regulation, decision-making, what we call intuition. Your inner being could be partly understood as that feedback loop insula, vagus nerve, nervous system.
So intuition isn't just some vague woo-woo thing. It's tied to my physical body giving real-time feedback, like that gut clench or chest expansion.
Precisely. Your body's giving you constant nonverbal data. But we also need to be mindful of.
Let me guess. Confirmation bias.
You got it. Confirmation bias and algorithmic influence. We notice stuff that confirms what we already believe. And online platforms, social media, YouTube, recommendation engines.
They feed us more of what we clicked on before.
Right. Not necessarily what we need next. They create these powerful spiritual feeds, reinforcing past interests, even if it was just a phase or based on hype.
So your inner sensing has to be the override. Just because something keeps popping up doesn't mean it's the sign. Could just be the algorithm.
Exactly. You don't owe resonance to an algorithm. And finally, the multiplicity of learning styles.
Different strokes for different folks.
Basically, yeah. Different brains need different ways to integrate info. Some connect through emotion, story, maybe Abraham, Louise Hay. Others thrive on logic, data, systems, Dispenza, Silva.
And others through play, experiment, ritual, maybe like if you see on TikTok.
Could be. The point is, resonance isn't hierarchy. There's no single best style or teacher. Only what's compatible with your nervous system, your style right now.
So switching isn't flaky, it's self-aware.
Beautifully put. Understanding these principles really gives a solid framework for why trusting your feeling makes sense. It's supported by how we actually function.
It adds that layer of insight, of permission. Okay, so speaking of navigating all this, especially with comparison creeping in, let's introduce a little something we call manifestation debug mode.
Think of it like running diagnostics.
Exactly. It's a way to find those hidden blocks, those limiting beliefs that might be like messing with your abundance signal.
Clearing out the static, finding the glitches in your programming, things running in the background you don't even realize are there.
And often, those glitches, they're these sneaky myths we've been talking about, old beliefs we picked up somewhere.
Right. So let's switch on manifestation debug mode.
Okay, activating debug mode.
The Instagram enlightenment spiral, where someone's highlight reel makes you feel bad about your own messy real path.
Totally. So debug mode is about flipping a switch to interrupt that loop, clear the mental static.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, let's use the questions provided here to clear that static and realign with our own magic. So ask yourself, who exactly am I measuring myself against right now? And why do I think they are the ultimate yardstick?
Good one.
Yeah.
And am I mistaking someone's carefully curated highlight reel for the actual messy reality of their healing process?
Oof, yeah. What if my journey, even if it feels slower, is actually leading to deeper integration, more sustainable growth?
Did a powerful story about someone else's success, maybe a teacher's story or a method's promise, did that accidentally become a rigid should story in my own head?
And the big one, what if the unique way I manifest, the way my journey unfolds, is perfectly valid precisely because it works for my nervous system, my joy, my rhythm?
Letting those questions land.
Ache.
Yeah, that can really reboot your inner compass. Clear out that comparison noise.
You're not a glitch in the system.
Yeah.
You're just ready for your next personal update.
And that update confirms. Comparison mode closed. Alignment restored.
Okay. So to bring all this together, the myths, the science, ditching comparison, there's a final guided visualization suggested. It's titled, Your Inner Being is the Teacher.
Ah, that sounds like a beautiful way to integrate everything.
Mhm.
It encapsulates the whole theme, honoring the past, but really empowering your present inner knowing.
Should we walk through it?
Okay, just take a moment. Visualize yourself standing calmly in the center of a beautiful, maybe sacred space.
Okay.
Around you, you see doorways, each one softly glowing with a different energy, representing the teachers, the paths that have influenced you. Maybe you feel the gentle flow of Abraham's tree nearby. You sense the calm focus of Silva's alpha waves. There's the creative potential of Neville's imagination theater. You see the supportive reflection in Louise Hay's mirror. Maybe you hear faint YouTube affirmation.
Just acknowledge them all. Feel the energy from each door. Recognize the path they represented for a time.
Yes, and silently or softly, offer a heartfelt thank you to each one for the lessons, the comfort, the breakthroughs they offered when you needed them.
Gratitude.
Now take a deep breath. Let that energy settle peacefully around you. And then listen.
Listen.
Above the sounds and energies from the doors,
Mm-hmm.
you begin to hear another sound. Quiet. Steady. Deeply familiar.
My own voice.
It's the sound of your own voice, your own inner knowing. Gently, turn your focus inward now. Connect with that quiet, powerful knowing within you. This centered place, with all the external influences just supportive elements around you. Ask your inner self,
What do I want now?
what feels truly aligned, true for me, in this present moment, today?
Pause here. Just listen. Allow that inner guidance to answer. Not with rules or old doctrines, but with that subtle resonance, that feeling that's uniquely yours.
Breathe and integrate that knowing. The core message from all this, it feels really clear, doesn't it? Your path is dynamic, it evolves.
You can learn from many sources.
Integrating things your way, that's intelligence, creativity,
Outgrowing something isn't failure, it's graduation.
and ultimately, the best guidance comes not from the outside polish or popularity, but from listening to that quiet, truthful resonance inside.
Navigating all this growth stuff, it can feel so overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
So many voices claiming the answer.
Right. But these ideas, they offer this framework to release that pressure, trust your intuition, let go of comparison.
And courageously build a practice that's uniquely yours, one that evolves with you.
So think about it. If the truest guidance really does whisper from within, what systems, teachers, external authorities have you maybe, unintentionally,
Yeah.
let overshadow that inner voice?
And what might be possible? What freedom, what power might you unlock? If you made a conscious choice right now to turn the volume up on your own inner knowing.
Yeah, we really invite you to reflect on that. Maybe take a moment later. Think about which teachers shaped you. Who have you gracefully outgrown?
What does your current spiritual remix look like? Your sampler tray?
Maybe jot down what came up during those debug questions or the visualization. Just let it percolate. Remember, according to these concepts, you don't owe anyone your unwavering loyalty.
Accept the deepest truth of your own inner being.
Exactly.
And the only right way forward is always the one that feels right to you, right now. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. And if this deep dive resonated, maybe share it with someone you think might find it helpful.
And please do subscribe for more explorations like this one. And if you have any questions or want to share your experiences with the law of attraction, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep shining your light.
Hello, friends. This is Shelley Carney-Eunice, the producer of Vibrations and Manifestations. I hope you enjoyed our Manifestation Myth-Busting series. If you've been with us through all 4 episodes, first of all, you're amazing. And second of all, we hope this series gave you not just clarity, but confidence to trust your own unique path. Here's a quick recap of what we've covered. In episode 32, we busted myths about money, like the idea that being spiritual means being broke, or that wealth equals greed. We talked about energetic alignment with abundance, not just hustle or hope. In episode 33, we tackled love myths, including the pressure to find the one, or to wait until you're fully healed to deserve love. Spoiler, you're already lovable right now, as you are. In episode 34, we addressed health and healing myths like just think positive and you'll never get sick, or illness means you manifested badly. We leaned into integration, self-compassion, and honoring the wisdom of your body. And today, in episode 35, we explored the myth of the one true teacher. We explored that our spiritual journey isn't a cult or a contract. It's a living, evolving relationship with yourself. The teacher you need is always the one who helps you hear your own voice more clearly. This whole series has been about helping you reset your inner compass, not replacing one dogma with another, but trusting that you already know when something is resonating and when it's time to shift. If you love this series, or if you have questions, feedback, or ideas for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment or reach out in whatever way feels aligned. Your voice helps us shape what comes next, and truly, we are so grateful you're here. Thank you for tuning in to Vibrations and Manifestations. And remember, your truth evolves, and so can your practice. See you next time.